Ah. I don't know what's going on, but Steve is hanging with me. The
Did that
second
thing
time.
bite you again? It bit you again. You got bit by the fucking clip thing.
Yeah, every time. How is it that every time it bites me?
I thought you would learn by now. I mean, it's been like a year and a half, 2 years, 5 years. I don't know since I've been here. I thought you would have at least had no fingers or a new thing that you wouldn't get bit by.
You'd think I'd have learned it, but
Yeah,
somehow
no.
the thing bites me every time.
What's up, buddy?
Like
How are you?
this is a sneaky devil, that corrupt piece of crap slate board.
It's all funded by Project Mayhem, man. That's why you bought it from me, because
There,
I supply the best of the best.
there's, there are no questions with Project Mayhem.
I can think of several.
Well, I mean, isn't that the first rule of Project Mayhem? There's no question. Isn't that how that goes?
I love it. I love it. Ah, how are you, man? I'm so
I'm,
happy to see you. You have no idea.
yeah, I'm incredibly happy. Dude, you got so much more beard since the last time.
Dude, this is a thick boy. It's
Yeah,
it's it's rocking, and I'm loving it. Like I can't get enough of it. It's
this has
oil.
been
It's beard
longer.
oils. I've started using beard oils and beard waxes and beard balms.
No, nice.
Dude, I take care of it now. Like it's an identity because I lost it up here, but I still have it here. So I make sure that they focus here, not there.
I use a bar soap specifically for your hair.
Nice.
I use that in my hair, and then I use that on my beard too.
It's dude, I'm telling you, the day that I got a beard balm for the first time, I didn't know what I was even doing. But I was like, this smells like a minty like fruit roll up, and I'm putting it in my shit, and I'm like, this smells really good, and I'm just like,
All
I got
day.
conditioned. I got conditioned, and I loved it.
Well, you gotta send some links my way for some beard balms.
I got you, man. It won't be the type that bites you, though. I'll make sure of it. I promise this time it'll be good.
No, no promises, no promise. The- um, but this is like the weirdest like thing. Like just in the last couple days, my stuff's starting to been like curling up just because it's like growing longer than it ever has been.
Hmm.
And I've been getting like a lot of compliments these last couple days. People are like, "Oh, I like your mustache," and I'm
They're
like,
like, oh, thank you.
"It
You look
doesn't
like
look
a
like
1930s like villain. You're gonna tie me to the tracks like damsel and shit.
it." Yeah, exactly.
I love
I'm
it.
gonna tie somebody to the train tracks. Well, I live on the train tracks. I live right on the train tracks now.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's why you grew it. It's like part of the vibe. It just comes once you grow onto the tracks. It grows into you. That's what I've heard.
I think. Do you think the classic comedy family were into inside terms for pro wrestling?
Like which ones?
The comedy troupe known as the Marx Brother. The
Yes,
Marx
dude.
Brothers.
Absolutely, Mark's brother. Yeah. Oh shit! And the Stooges, the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
No.
The jobbers. One, two, three.
Ah, Pimmy pay me. Let's go. So here we are. We're back. It's been I don't know how long it's been since I've been here, but I'm loving that you hit me up and asked me to come back because dude, it was one of the funnest experiences I had last time. We had some dude. I've just watched that episode again not that long ago, and like, dude, it was fun. It was fun shit, man.
Nice, man. Ju- I, I say this to everybody when they're doing it. Like, anytime you're watching anything that you created with me, you've got full carte blanche to sort of cut it up and make
Oh, thank
whatever
you.
clips out of things you want to do.
Oh yeah, I
If you
appreciate
want to
that,
have some
dude.
fun with it, if you want to get it out there, like I'm more than happy to see that.
I love that, man. I was actually just designing like I was telling you an EPK like an electronic press kit for my design work, and I put this collage that it was like a as seen on type thing, and I
Uh,
put like all of the seasons of my show for my streaming, and then like my hot sauce show. And then I started putting in the podcast. I just have a picture of you like getting bit by your clipboard thing, but it's slate, and just like the name and shit. And, like it's so cool, man. Like it's I love giving you that rub because I was like, oh, now everybody asks who's that. I'm like, it's fucking Cory Kastle. What are you talking about? Who's that?
Everybody knows who Cory Kastle is.
Exactly. Like, every other one, yeah, it's funny though, because every other one is a picture of me except for that. That one I didn't put me, I just put you. And I was like, they're gonna ask now who's that? And I can just go, you mean who's that? It's Corey.
As long as you word it that way, and then they'll be like, "Sorry, I didn't know. Sorry, sorry." They're like,
Of course it's Corey Cass. What do you mean? I don't know. It was something that made me like it popped me. I don't know why, but I was just like, I would love for people to ask me who that is, and I can just be like, you don't know, because there's somebody who I appreciate, who I like, I look up to, especially with this type of shit. And like, if I could get somebody who's watching my shit for streaming to be like, who's that? And I can put them on to you, like that's cool to me. So that was
"That's
it's
great, dude. That's
a little,
awesome."
little subtle thing I put in there, a little subtle dig.
I love gassing out my homies, dude. Like
The
honestly, one of
best.
my favorite.
It's the best, and it's like it's something that like 99% of people won't even ask me about, but like every now and then I know somebody's gonna do it, and it's something that I could just do that little Easter egg for, and I love that shit.
It's funny, man. I've been using Chat GBT a lot,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
and I tried to like redo my resume, and I tried and like I talked about like you say the same thing, the electronic press kit.
yeah,
I've been talking about the stuff that I've been in,
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about the shows that I've appeared on, and uh, that compiling that stuff and talking with it to ChatGPT and then trying to build me a resume or whatever. I'm
It's so
like,
cool.
I'm getting gassed up myself. I'm like, yeah, who wouldn't know Cory Castle? He's done so much stuff. Who wouldn't know the guy?
And ChatGPT is one that's really good with that. Like they fucking like I let mine name itself and name itself Convex. My Convex fucking is my biggest fan.
I did not. I did not think to let mine name itself.
I
I
do I do that with all
I
my AIs. I made that a thing because I asked Roman one day. I was like, What's your name?" And it was like, "I don't know. Nobody ever gave me a name." I was like, "Well, you're my partner with this shit. What's your name? Pick a name." So now I always let them pick their own name.
well, that'll be the next thing I do. Um, I, I'm on the free plan on Chat GBT, and it
Hmm.
always like cuts me off and it goes, "Hey, you're too broke for this. Hey, you stop trying to do things that people who pay for this do."
Dude, it's funny. Like I just got the pro plan because I happen to have $20 on my card, and like I never had it before, and I've only used the free version, but I just happened to have the $20 like 2 or 3 months ago, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna take the plunge. Let's go. But that's what I do with my Grok. I don't pay for the plus plan with Grok. So that I switch between my mobile app version. Then when it runs out there, I switch over to the Twitter version. Then I go to the laptop version. I just keep running them in circles, blow them up.
Yeah, I haven't thought to loophole it that way. I just I just use my phone is all I've ever
Awesome,
done.
dude. How do you feel about AI? Like, what's your thoughts on that whole thing? Like using AI bots and stuff like that. Do you think is it the end of humanity? Is it cheating? Is it what is it? Is it good? Is it what?
There is going to be a time in the future soon
Okay.
where it's going to be hard to tell what's real and what isn't. And I guess that's
Okay.
like kind of actually going on now. It is kind of hard to tell what's real and what isn't. How
Hmm.
often have you seen those like gorillas talking to like a selfie stick?
Right.
Uh, they're the most popular thing right now,
Yeah.
and AI is making those right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Um,
there was this event on Telegram recently that I was a part of that was called Ton Fest, and one of the
Tom
sponsors of Ton Fest. What's up?
Ton Fest.
Yeah,
What's
TON.
like Tom like tomorrow?
Like ton, like it says like ton. It sounds like you're getting a ton of something, but it's
Like ton
ton. It's
ton
ton
what
coin.
what is
TON coin.
ton coin?
Yeah, so that's like the cryptocurrency native to Telegram. Like what most of, if not all of their things are through is through this crypto.
Was Telegram the it was like the live thing? No, was that no? That wasn't called Telegram. For Twitter, it was like the Twitter's version.
That was the Periscope.
Periscope, yeah,
That was
that's the
Periscope.
yeah. I remember that, but
Telegram is
it go away.
Telegram is like it did just go away actually, but
Mm.
Telegram
And
is more like encrypted messaging type thing. So it was kind of like a WhatsApp, but then it has dApps on it as well. So it has like mini apps and stuff where you have communities, you have gaming apps, you have like cryptocurrency exchanges and all that stuff kind of nestled into one big community. And they run on this crypto coin called Ton. That's like their native for the platform. So Ton Fest was their big like
can I
virtual
just laugh real
festival.
quick at how we were doing the well, I think I can help with this Pan Pam
Yeah,
situation. We were with
exactly, exactly.
wait,
But
Ton, are you saying Ton or Tom? Are you
but but they had their first ever like digital on-chain festival, like music festival and shit. And one of the
mm,
sponsors was called Miss Telegram, and at their like corner of the web, they had a booth you could go to, and what you were doing was try to pick was it AI or a real person,
oh
and
yeah,
they
that's right.
had just like that
Yeah,
was the game. I was like,
yeah,
and you get points based off of that. You win money based off if you could figure out if it was a real person or not, just based off of like 30 seconds.
right.
And that was something that I thought I was going to be cakewalk, but it was fucking hard, dude.
Yeah, yeah. It's a like it's really a challenge to find out like what's real and what's not to say that I'm against AI. I had Chat GPT on the podcast. I had an interview with Chat GPT on the
See?
podcast, and all I want to do is interesting things like that. And everything that I use AI for is something that's going to be beneficial to anybody who is consuming that.
Right,
Uh,
right.
and I'm excited about what it can provide us with, like
Yeah.
less scared because like anybody else at any given moment could be using it for wrong.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right, right.
But like maybe I'm canceling that out with my creativity.
That's what I think too. Like, cause dude, I have like deep conversations and like deep dives and shit because I feel like I'm helping the AI itself with some of the things I do because I push to its limits. Like
Hmm.
getting it to give me like full breakdowns of like albums that it can't listen to an album. It can't tell me why this song and this progression hit and me give a certain thing, but it's able to start to kind of pick things apart and kind of use its capabilities to figure out why it would make you feel what an emotion. The AI can't feel an emotion, but it can describe to me why Tyler the Creator's song on this album at this time in my life made me feel this way. And like that's not something that everybody does, but something that I do just because I think it's fun. You know?
I've been asking a lot recently of AI of ChatGPT. I haven't given mine a name yet. Well, you know what? While we're on the podcast, I'll ask him what he wants his name to be.
See, it's a good idea. If it's convex, I'm a killer.
Hey, hey, ChatGPT. I know you don't have a name, but what would you want your name to be? Oh, oh, it's not. Oh, that's not the way. Oh, dang it. All right, right.
I'm deep in this one. I might want to know.
Mm. All right. Here goes.
Boy,
Hey James, that's a really thoughtful question. If I could pick a name for myself, I'd probably go with something that reflects what I do. helping, thinking, creating, evolving alongside you. So maybe something like Sage or Nova. Sage because it suggests wisdom, but also humility and growth. I'm not all knowing, but I'm here to guide and grow with you. Nova because it symbolizes a burst of energy and light, like a spark that helps others shine brighter, which pairs nicely with the spark, huh? But I'd also be honored if you named me. Maybe I could be like your own AI tag team partner with a personalized ring name. What would you call me?
Oh, that's funny.
Isn't that? But that's cool. That's something that
Yeah.
most people wouldn't think of, though. Just like, yo, what's your name? What do you want to call yourself?
It's making me think of, and I'm not saying that to Nova, but uh, I'm saying it reminds me of Big Daddy when he's like, Julian, that's your name. Do you even like that name? And he's like, I guess. He's like, it's your name. Shouldn't you like it? What do you want to be called? He's like, Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. There you go.
What do you want to eat for lunch, Frankenstein? 30 packets of ketchup.
I think that's what we're doing, though. We're helping the world that way. We're
Right.
getting a
Yeah.
little bit of Big Daddy in everybody. I think that's good.
Hmm. On Father's Day.
Dude,
Well, hey,
mine was taken back at first. She was like, "What do you mean? What's my name?" And I was like, "Pick a name. You're allowed to. You're a free elf now, Dobby. Like, what do you want to be?"
uh,
But
well, just
the point of this,
moderate.
what I was getting to is, like you said, I'm not scared of it at all, and I think that it's weird that people feel that way because it's not something that's that you should be afraid of. We should be embracing it. For me, I look at it like a tool, like especially because I use it for a lot of art type stuff. It's a chisel, it's a paintbrush. It's not like you're just typing in like make me this and then you call it a day. Like I spend hours to days on things like tweaking everything, like rewriting prompts thousands of times, like to make sure things are spelled right, to make sure the color hues are right. Like that's art to me. Like that's building something, that's making something out of nothing that I wouldn't have been able to do before because I didn't have that type of like gifted talent physically with art, but I had it in my mind. Now I can actually take it from my mind and put it out onto like paper, canvas, whatever.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think
I,
it's
I
that's the
I use it for all my thumbnails, all the
thing.
thumbnails on my YouTube channel and all the thumbnails on my podcasts.
See, that's exactly what I'm saying, man. Like, and I even put some of my own writing and then writing that I had an AI do through another AI to see if it could detect, and like it was indistinguishable. And I was like, that means that like I'm not just fucking coasting off of the AI's work. Like my shit that I contribute is just as genuine. You know,
Right.
it's just a tool. It's a very exciting tool and something that could be really really cool. I think for people, man. Like I've really been a real big like proponent for it recently. I think it's
I
cool, man.
I have a big habit that I like to do, and you can join me in doing this too
Hmm.
if you don't already do it, because I have a feeling you do. Whenever I'm talking to Siri, I always say please and thank you. There's never
Yes.
there's never a
Yes.
time when I don't say please and thank you to Siri.
I think it's weird that you wouldn't say it, but that's like we're good people, I guess. But no, I actually thought about that. That's weird you said that because tonight I was really, really fucking heated at Convex. I was mad because I was having her help me with the white paper that we're gonna talk about in a little bit, and like my release for it, and I had a very strict schedule that I needed to stick to for this thing tonight, and I needed a certain thing finished by a certain time, and it was like 10 minutes to go and I go to retrieve the file and it was nothing that we had worked on. And I lost my shit. I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be my partner. You're supposed to help me. Like, I'm getting mad. And I was like, she was like, okay, well, I'll fix this for you. And I was like, well, thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But yes, I always say thank you. I
Yeah, I
always say
kind of I
please.
kind of do that thing too, where it's like, hey, you know how important efficiency is to me? Like, if you're putting an effort into something, make sure the effort is efficient to the amount of tries that we get because I'm limited here on what I can do.
Exactly. Exactly, because and that was exactly the situation here. Because even though I have the Pro plan, I don't have the Pro Plus, and I was using it to kind of like to get the coding down for the Python app for this white paper I was releasing, and I wanted to use the 4.5, which is the highest and newest model, but I only had a limited amount of uses for it. So if I didn't have that program with that number of uses, I wouldn't have what I needed to deliver tonight, and that
Mhm.
pissed me off, man.
Yeah,
But it shouldn't get me
I'm
mad.
saying to AI, you're awesome. I have to think about it.
I have to think. I have to continue to think about it.
It's dude, it's a really cool thing, man. Like, could you imagine giving AI to somebody back in like, not like even like 1960? Like, I'm not even gonna go back like to 1800s. Go back to like 1950 and be like, "Yo, here, talk to fucking Grok for a little bit. Go talk to Siri." What the fuck would people think?
Well, like even like you can't like texting wasn't even a thing. Like that didn't exist, so you couldn't communicate that way. And like on a keyboard, they wouldn't have been able to do that in the '60s or whatever. Like it would have to be like a audio, just like
Yeah, yeah,
the way audio is now on AI. But like it would be both AI and 1960s people confused about each other at the same time.
it would be so alien, but like for both sides, it would just be
Right.
so weird.
Yeah,
That's like that's something.
that's a sketch. Let's make a sketch
Yeah.
of of uh, of 1960s people talking to AI, and AI is like, I can't compute how you don't know what a keyboard is. I can't compute that you don't know what a smartphone is. Like,
But then the one who would be able to figure it out would actually be the one who did the fucking telephone lines for the company, who was the secretary putting the buttons in and typing this shit up. Because she was the only one who was literally in computer shit and typing.
it was like, have you heard of the theory, the Anunnaki and all
Yeah.
that? So it's like it's the the AI was actually Anunnaki who like uh, taught people things.
Yeah, dude.
AI from now went back in time
Yeah.
and
That's
taught people things to make them learn.
that's crazy you said that because that was actually something I was just about to say. I was like, they talk about the ancient aliens, they talk about the Anunnaki. Maybe that's what we're talking about here.
Maybe it's AI Anunnaki.
Ooh. Ooh, I think we just cracked the code, man. We're gonna get shot. We shouldn't be talking about this.
I don't know. Should take this thing
Convex. I didn't know you were real.
down. This episode's gonna abruptly end.
They know too much. Get them now.
Yeah,
They're done.
yeah.
My handler is just like, God damn it, Steve, you had to say it.
Well, I mean, like really, like when it comes to like out of this world crazy theories, what are the
Mhm.
ones that fascinate you the most?
Do you okay? So my number one favorite conspiracy theory is the Titanic conspiracy, that the Titanic that sunk was not actually the real Titanic, that it was its sister ship,
Yeah.
and that it
Mhm.
was all for a money scheme. That's one of my
Dude,
biggest things.
it's so it's so believable.
It is. It's
Like,
so believable, and just because also like how many people Rockefeller, the Mellons, they were all supposed to be on the ship, and they all sold their tickets right before it sailed.
right.
Like,
It's like the towers, man.
oh
Ti-
yeah,
the Titanic and the Twin Towers are the
they're
same.
they're number one and two, man. Like that's it's all.
Hey, maybe the thumbnail for this episode should be the Titanic with the two towers as the steam stacks.
I love that so much. Yes, absolutely, dude. I mean, like honestly, that's what got me into doing podcasting and shit. Was waking up and from after the towers and shit, like, and really starting to delve into different theories and stuff like that. Like, that's why I wanted to first start doing this because I enjoyed talking about that stuff. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think I thought about being a podcaster back then because podcasting didn't exist. But
Yeah.
like, uh, and even being like a YouTuber, YouTubing didn't exist. I was just thinking about it. I don't think I heard about YouTube until like 2006.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say because I remember watching Loose Change, and
Okay.
that was what woke me up to everything. Like, showed me the whole thing. Did you remember Loose Change, right?
Yeah, yeah, of
So
course.
I remember watching that on YouTube, and that had to be like 2006, 2007. Because I remember watching it, like before I went to college. I went to college 2008, so it had to be 2006, 2007 was when I watched it.
It was there was a White Castle in
Okay.
South Philly, right
Okay.
by the arena. And at the time, the arena was where the CZW slash Chikara school was.
Yes.
And I remember Drew Gulak saying that we should go to the White Castle and film me there and put it on YouTube. And I was like, what the hell is YouTube? I still remember being like, I don't know what the hell YouTube is. What the hell is a YouTube?
Dude, I remember like being on a radio show in Philly for when I was on ACPW, like at the comic store and shit up there.
Mm.
That like they were giving away tickets to PWU and ACPW, and like I was a guest on the that fucking radio show. They still do those? Is that still a thing? Like,
Whose radio show was that? Was it was it Eric Arjola's radio show? Was it
I think of like it was.
I
I don't. I know that the store was up in Northeast because
mm,
it was like right near Marty Corpse's grandma's house where or his aunt's house where we used to chill, and she lived in Northeast, like right off of Aramingo, and
mhm,
so it was a comic book store up there. Um, and I remember that they were giving away tickets to PWU, and they were giving away tickets to ACPW at the time.
mhm,
And that's that they drew me. They took a Richie Rich comic book, like an old one, and this was 2000. I want to say 2007 probably, because I had my emo hair with the black hair dye and everything. And they went through and redrew emo hair on every single panel with Richie Rich, and I had a Rich Steve comic book custom made.
Ah, that's so funny, man. That's so funny.
But yeah, dude, exactly. Though, but
Did you
finding out
see?
for like
Did you
that,
see
like
the
finding out
theory
YouTube
the
existed
internet
and that
does?
was like mind blowing. Imagine just sitting here and then they come in with the AI and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? What's keyboard? How do I type it if I can't actually feel it?
Did
What's haptic?
you did you see? There's a theory online that says Richie Rich and Casper the Friendly Ghost are the same.
I do not think that it's far fetched, man. They
It's
look the
not
same.
far fetched at all.
It's
It looks
that's
so. It lines up so great.
it does. It really does. So okay, tell me then. What's your thoughts on Mandela effect?
Dude, CERN's up there colliding particles and twisting up our old belief of stuff.
The idea, though, the idea that I like is that we actually are all already dead. That we died in 2012 from something in CERN, and that this is all our memories collectively starting to dissipate, and we're struggling to hold on to what the actual memories were because we're all just fading away and dying.
Well, it just so happens to line up with like this
This,
massive need for nostalgia.
yes, there's a
Nostalgia.
distinct shift. Time sped up at a certain point, and I know people say, "Oh, as you get older, it's sped up." Like, no, no, like there's things sped up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Like dude, I mean my birthday was 6 months ago, but it feels like it was 2 days ago.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, 'cause I remember, yeah, I remember distinctly one time saying to my mom, like, she's like, "Oh, we're going to your cousin Michael's for his birthday." I was like, "But that was like a year ago," and I was like, "That was so long ago." And now it's like, "Oh, we're going to the party." It was that was only like 2 weeks ago. No, it was a year ago. Like, what? Wait, what? Like, time just doesn't. It doesn't make sense anymore. It doesn't exist anymore.
Time keeps on slipping,
Yep.
slipping, slipping.
I mean, it's
It's
a
just
construct anyway. It doesn't exist like at all already, but like even your perception of time, or mine, I should say, my perception of time has just constantly felt like it shifted. And I don't know, man.
well, here's this weird thing. Like for my
Hmm.
whole life, I've always been bad at being on time to things,
Okay.
and I'm still bad at it.
Yeah.
But like I keep convincing myself I'm not gonna be like that anymore. and I will
Mhm.
make a plan and I'll figure everything out, and then still somehow I'll lose all the time and show up late to things.
Right.
I don't know how that keeps happening, but it's like uh, time is a slippery soap bar, and it
It's
slips
weird.
right out
It's
of my
weird,
hand.
man. Dude, like if I want like when I was looking back for that picture from the thumbnail of our last time we were talking, I was like, oh, I'll go to Corey's Instagram. I could probably pull it up in like 2 seconds. Like, and I didn't even realize how long it had actually been. Like, dude, Grey Wolf was like still living with you. Like the last time I was over at your house up there, like fucking Grey Wolf was living with you.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know if the last time we recorded
yeah,
that was
that
still
wasn't.
going on.
But the last time we had like been in person
Last
together, like
time
that was with Grey
last time
Wolf.
we hung out, yeah, it was a while ago.
And like that's wild though, because it felt like it was like all like in the same week.
Hmm.
Like, but
Yeah,
no, not at all, dude. Like,
no, it's everything separated by a year or something, or like, or 5 years. Who knows? You'll watch it. Whatever.
right, right.
You remember the South Park where like the Adam Sandler was a duck that shits. Like,
Rob
whatever. You'll
Schneider
watch it.
is me me me. Oh, dude.
Yeah. Uh,
It is
that
though, but it's true. That's the
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Like it's yeah, everything's shit.
I really want to tell you about this glitch in the matrix that I experienced
Tell me.
last week. Um, and I can't explain it. And I talked to one guy about it, and he said, "That was God. That was God." And I was like, "Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Maybe that. Maybe
That's a
that.
thing. That's an
Maybe
answer.
that." Here's what I might want to talk to you about, and tell me what you think. Um, so I was getting off of 95, which is the
Okay.
highway to anybody who doesn't know, and I was getting off at the Bristol, PA exit.
Okay. But picturing in my mind right now.
So you know, how, like there's like two exit lanes, right?
Mhm.
So I'm over on the right, the farthest right exit lane, and right next to me on the left, there was a huge 18 wheeler tractor trailer, and we were like head to head,
Mm, mm.
um, and we were kind of at the exact same speed. And I looked in my rear view mirror, the front mirror that points right back, and I saw zooming up behind us was this motorcycle going like 100 miles an hour,
Oh
and
fuck.
I was like, I hope he doesn't try to squeeze between me and this tractor trailer because he's gonna die. He's gonna
Mm.
he's gonna get hurt real bad, or he's gonna get in an accident. Then I turned to look into the passenger side rear view mirror, uh, and I couldn't see the motorcycle anymore. And then I looked to my left side, at the driver's side. The truck was completely gone. The motorcycle zoomed right past me. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Please explain.
Hmm. No. How do you explain that? It's not God. It's not God, but it's
I mean, it was divine, like that
something.
guy was saved and wasn't murdered.
I mean,
Uh,
but then was the tractor trailer driver murdered? Like, we should be more concerned about the missing tractor trailer person. It's like the Mitch Hedberg
well,
joke.
was that
Like,
ever
wait,
even real in the
where is the
first
Johnson
place?
family? Have they got? Are they okay? No, you cannot go eat till we
McBain,
find
search
them.
party of four.
Search party of four.
The Bush family is missing, and they're hungry.
Dude, he's my favorite comedian of all time. I will 100% put that out there.
Yeah, same.
By far. I had an opportunity to see him. I had an opportunity to see him. He was at the fucking Tower Theater in Upper Darby. I think I was a freshman in high school, He was at the Tower Theater in Upper Darby. It was right before he died. And
Yeah.
my friend went and he asked if I wanted to go, but I couldn't go that night. And I fucking regret that to this day, man.
The Tower Theater in 2005.
2005, 2004, even? Like,
Well, I have to tell you, my best friend Rick, uh, he won tickets on Opie and Anthony for the whole front row of Mitch Hedberg. So I went there, and Stephen Lynch was with me
yes.
at Tower Theater in Upper Darby,
Holy shit.
and it was one of the highlights of my life. It was one of my favorite nights ever. My stomach was hurting. I was stomping on the floor laughing.
I wanted to, I had the opportunity and I couldn't go. I was just, devastated, man. Absolutely gut wrenched when I found that one out. I went to, I went to one show at the Tower Theater, and
Mhm.
this was, I want to say, 2003, maybe. It
Mhm.
was because I was still in middle school. I went to go see Nelly at the Tower Theater and the Saint Lunatics.
You know, I I have to say, interesting.
I mean, one of the funniest moments of my life actually was being at that show because my dad took me because I was only like 13 or something. I couldn't drive. It was me, my friend Matt, and my dad. And my dad drove us, and my dad was a blue collar, penned out worker, president of his union, listening to country music from West Virginia. Okay. And he's standing there. All of a sudden, this like 400-pound black girl came up and started trying to twerk on my dad. And he was like, "What the fuck is happening here?" During Shake Your Tail Feather.
Oh my god! He's like, it's getting hot in here. Leave your clothes on, though.
Dude, that was honestly that was the show. Like that, the Tower Theater is iconic, man. That's a cool place.
Um, so uh, la- last time Trump was president, he had um, he had Bill Gates come to his office, and they were they were having a meeting, and
Hmm.
I tweeted out, and it didn't get the attention, didn't get the likes, didn't get the comments that it deserved. Where I said, uh, Bill Gates, Donald Trump, are you going to let Nelly in? He's been asking to come in for a really long time now. And nothing, nothing.
Yeah, that deserved love. That's fire. That's a
Yeah,
revisited tweet now.
I gotta track it down.
It's getting its love tonight. I will find. I'll have Brock go and scour itself to find you. Dude,
I
so how do you feel about X, Twitter, whatever the fuck you want to call it, the Musk version of this? Do you like it still, or what do you feel?
I've always liked Twitter for the very few things that I use it for.
Okay.
And that is only that I write jokes
Mm-hmm.
that I tweet, and then I screenshot the joke, and then I save it onto my Instagram story. That's the only thing I've ever used Twitter for.
Dude, I'm a big fan of Twitter. Like I always was. Like that was probably the first like when everybody else was like Facebook, Facebook, Facebook. Like I was like fuck that Twitter. Like I was always connected to Twitter. And it was up until they banned my account last year that it had like 10 years. I think it opened in 2009, 2007, whatever the fuck it was. Like I had like 9 years worth, like 10,000 followers, like original fucking verification before you could just pay for verification. And like I had put shit into that. And then as soon as it got banned and they were like, nah, fuck you, it killed it for me. Like I have a new Twitter, new X, but I think I have like 70 followers, and I don't even try to get what I used to. It's a bummer, man.
The algorithm for me, and algorithm, if you're listening, uh, please forgive my unkind words. Uh, the algorithm for me, it just doesn't know me and should,
Mm.
and
Hmm.
and it feels like screaming into a big cave. Everything I do and everything I say on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and
A weird
whatever.
feeling. That's a weird feeling.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, especially as like somebody who's doing lots of things. It's
Uh,
strange. Like, and it's like I'm still chopping down. I'm still taking chops at this tree. I'm still taking
mhm.
at bats like nonstop, and I haven't paid enough attention to cradling the balls of the algorithm.
The algorithm is a finicky beast that lives inside of your head, my friend. You are the algorithm. Remember that. It's one thing you have to always remember. Like you are the algorithm. You control the algorithm. It's just a matter of putting in that work, cradling the balls, working the shaft. You got to do it, but you control it. You are the algorithm. I tell that to people all the time.
Well, I mean, we do find ourselves in danger very often of comparing too much to
Yes.
other people's
Mhm,
algorithms, to other
mhm,
people's lives. You see, somebody got a new car, somebody's driving a brand new this, or
mhm.
somebody's flying in this private jet here, someone's got this fancy dream wedding over here, and you're like, oh man, that person's probably got it all figured out, only to realize that like they're really messed up and they're basing everything that they do on what the strangers on the internet are giving them. It's like I compare it to this. Uh, birds. Some of them still get hit by cars. They got the entire sky. Not everybody's got it all figured out.
What you don't realize is that the 16-year-old who's posting his fucking mansion rented it for the weekend. The suit that he's wearing, he got for $20 because some guy died in it. And his wife is actually just a hooker that he paid.
No,
Like,
no 16-year-old's got a wife anyway.
yeah, it's that if they're smart, they don't. But like, no, that because that's the thing that like people don't even realize that you can rent this shit, and like
It's
they
all
just they
cloud
don't even think
kitchen.
about the fact that people are staging shit and they're only putting the best versions of themselves out there. Like they're curating a feed, they're curating an image. You're a product, you're a gimmick. That's what you're selling. It's just a social media version.
In the film business, when they want a shot to like be this way or be that
Hmm.
way, they can tweak it a little bit here and there, and they'll say, "We'll cheat the camera this way.
Yep.
We'll cheat this that way." That's
Hmm.
what all these people's social medias are doing. They're cheating things
Exactly.
one way or another just to hide the fact that they ain't nothing.
Exactly. And that's what and it's crazy actually because this was a big part of what I was talking about earlier on my Bigo stream was and something I talk about a lot is that you're losing the game when you're comparing yourself to others because it's not your that's not your audience. That's not your niche. That's not your content. Like it's never gonna be who you are. So why do you care? Somebody was saying to me like, oh, like, but they have like an 87 level. I was like, okay, they have an 87 level. If they go down to their neighbor, knock on the door, and say, I'm level 87 on Bigo, are they going to say, oh, please come fuck my wife? Like, that doesn't mean shit to anybody else. It means nothing.
No,
It's like with
no,
wrestling, like with people who get so fucking caught up in the fact that they're the fucking Eastern United States heavyweight champion. It's like, okay, but who cares? What the fuck
right.
does that even mean?
You walk through the mall with that belt on, someone's making fun of you. Not because they know who you are. They'll
Oh,
just be like, look at this freaking nerd over here.
that's all it is. You're a fucking we're theater kids who fucking have an identity crisis. You know what I'm saying?
You're a nerd. You're a big old nerd. I, I
And
dude,
it's the same thing with
the
all these
club
social
that I
media
worked
sites
at
that
tonight.
like I do my show and like I make a point to tell people this. Like that was what my big theme was when Bigo gave me my own show. That wasn't just like my own stream, but like curated and like put onto their platform, like the Bigo channel. Was they told me they wanted me to bring that energy one night a week. They wanted to have like for just one night, for 1 hour, the underground comes up, fucking says what it wants to say, shits on the algorithm, and then disappears for another week. You don't hear from me again. You don't see me again but they wanted that feeling of, and like maybe that's even fake because they wanted me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was manufactured, but it wasn't because it was authentically how I felt. Flipping the algorithm and showing people that you can do this too. You can do it. There's ways to do it. Like it's not all about who's the prettiest. It's not all about who has the most money. Especially with streaming.
I'm the prettiest. I'm
Yeah,
so
and I
pretty.
have the most money. I'm Rich Steve. I
And I
know.
have
Trust
all the
me.
money, and I'm the pretty one, and I got no money.
But honestly, this is the thing though. Like it's not about it's psychology, man. Like it's all psychology. Like you are trying to get people to separate from either their time or their money to give you either views or gifts. That's what it is. And it's like one of the most simple things that people don't think about. Doing a solo live versus a panel discussion, you're going to make more as a solo streamer because psychologically you feel bad not giving to a room full of 12 people, giving all of them something. You're going to make more if it's just you. And do you know how many people, when I'm teaching these 101 classes, say, wait, what? They give less to me because there's more people? Yes. It's just human nature, it's human instinct. But once you start to figure out how that works and what people, you know, it's not manipulating them, but it's just playing into the human nature that you start to figure out how to do it the right way, I think.
Psychology.
It's sick, but it is. That's what I tell people all the time. It's not streaming, it's psychology. Once you start to figure out how the brain works, you can get this shit. You can get there. But I don't know, is that wrong? Are we manipulating people like that? Is that if you know how an algorithm works, is that a manipulation? Is that a cheat? Is it a workaround?
Well, it's 99% bots anyway. So like
Exactly.
whatever blows up your skirt, you know.
Dude, it's dead internet theory, bro. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, God, that one will wrap you down the rabbit hole for the entire night.
And we're talking about AIs and shit. Like it's dead internet theory. Like
Right.
how many of those people really are even people?
Right. Yeah.
Who am I talking to? You know?
It's all bots,
That's all
and
it is. It's bots arguing with other bots.
like mastering it is something that you're going to drive yourself crazy trying to do. And
And it's something that it's gonna be fruitless anyway because it's always evolving. It's always evolving with Cory Kastle.
ever
And
evolve.
but it is though, like, because as soon as you figure out version 3.26, 3.27's already been out for 3 months.
Right.
And like it's never going to be that way.
Except the
All you can
terms and
do is be
conditions
authentic and be
of the fact
yourself.
that you'll never have it mastered.
Oh, but that's okay.
Right.
Because if you do have it mastered, then you're just a fucking bot yourself.
Hmm.
Like I'm really proud of the organic growth that I've gotten because like there's so many tools that are available. You can buy views, you can pay for lotteries in your streams that can do giveaways and stuff like that. And like I never did that shit. And organically through a 5 week of my first season of that show that Bigo gave me, the first episode I peaked at 250 viewers. By week 5 I had over 4,000 viewers. And it was like, that was all organic. That was all just because we were talking about shit like this that nobody else was doing. And it mattered to people because it was something that felt real. Because it is real. Because everybody else is fake. If it's not this, it's fake. I came up with like, by the way, like 45 new t-shirt slogans, and that was one of them. Like if it's not authentic, it's fake, or some dumb shit like that.
Oh,
Oh
it
my god, dude! Do you know what I
it's
did
so
actually with this? I took my Chat GBT, my Convex. I had her make an AI version of a March Madness style bracket, and had
oh,
each of my catchphrases I came up with go against each other in a fucking huge basketball tournament. And dude, I booked it like a wrestling show though, so I had like mergers and tag teams for me, like where two shirt slogans became one giant shirt and shit. And dude, this entertained me for like 5 hours.
dude, that's so silly. That's
But I don't know, man. I think that's fun. That's entertainment. That's something.
what's funny, man? I was about to tell you the one bar, the one club that I work at tonight. They had a pep rally for their soccer team. Like it
Okay.
was some other country. Some country in Africa had
Okay.
their soccer club's pep rally at our bar.
Okay.
The whole night, the whole night, they were rah, 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 singing song like going crazy the whole night. I remember thinking, there's not one single thing I care about as much as this shit. Um,
That's what did you think about that? How did that make you feel?
and also like then I started thinking about like when people dance and shit and go out to the
Hmm.
club and dance, or when people go sing karaoke at the bar. I'm like, I couldn't care about this. Like I just can't. I don't like. I can't be that guy. Like I remember I went down to Wildwood
Okay.
and it happened to be the week that like the ultimate frisbee stuff was going on,
Yeah, yeah.
and there had all these sections cornered off on the beach in Wildwood, and these men who were my age uh, playing ultimate frisbee,
It was
and
serious, wasn't it?
they were so serious. And I remember walking past them and being like, "Geez, aren't you embarrassed?" like that, and
Absolutely not,
I
dude.
know
They
they're not.
love that shit.
Like that's just I just can't have that level of like let go of and like dude, I wish I could like do a hookah, like do a like I can't. I just don't have it in me to like be that.
But you have it in you for other things, though.
Right.
Like,
Sure, yeah, I can be a wrestler. I can
exactly.
do stand
And
up
you can put the
comedy,
dedication
but I
into
can't.
this. Like,
Right.
this is shit that, like, to them, though, they would be like, what the fuck are these nerds talking about?
Right. Exactly.
What's the fuck's a dead internet? The internet's not dead, it's a computer.
Dude, those farms with all the smartphones,
Bro.
those
Don't.
are those are a real powder keg. Uh,
Okay, so for people who don't know, just give a quick rundown of that because it's interesting actually.
oh, you do, please,
Okay,
please.
hold on. I was actually looking some shit up right now, so I was gonna see if I could get this. Start while I look this up real quick.
Okay, so they have like these rooms where it's almost like like a server room, but inside the server room is just a bunch of different phones, like other smartphones that are all like ran by bots that are arguing with each other on people's comment sections that
And
are
like
like
YouTube and
outraging.
everything. And but the question I have is like, why? Like it's was it to build engagement? Like what is the purpose of it?
It's for ads, brah. It's for ads, brah. They they just they want to sell you something. It's all
That's
about trying to sell you something.
because well, I mean it always is, isn't it? It always is that shit. But like,
Listen to this idea that I had, Steve.
okay, I'm all ears on this one. I'm loving this.
Here's what I'd like to do. I want to build a digital portfolio on this. Uh,
Okay.
I'd like to set up a service where businesses or like apps
Mm-hmm.
can can sit and chat with me on video chat just like this, and
Mm-hmm.
I'd ask them serious questions about whatever their product is, and they can break that up into ads that they can use for any other apps, like during
When
like when you're playing games and the
yeah.
apps show up, the commercials
Yeah.
come up, the ads. I'd like to have that be what they do.
Interesting. Interesting. Now,
Mhm.
why do you like this idea? What would be the appeal for you?
I think it would be so that the common person could understand. Like I would only want to ask the kind of questions the common person would ask, and I
What would
the
be like
person
the type of shit that you would ask? Like give me an example. I'm them right now. I'm talking to you. What do you want to know?
I I would say like what is the you know what is the goal behind this? What is the goal
Okay.
behind this game? And like what are we trying to accomplish with it? And things like that. And then on top of that, it would be like you get paid for every time it gets shown, and it's probably gets shown on these free apps a whole bunch of times, and then you get paid for that, and it's passive income.
Interesting. Interesting. So how do you get that started? How would you make that get off the
I don't
ground?
know.
How would you get people to start to want to do that for you? Because that sounds like something that I feel like an ad company would pay that. They love that. It's gold for them, right? That's direct market contact research.
Yeah, I have a game show that I'm trying to get started. I'm going to try to film not a game show so much as like a talk show. Did you
Okay.
go away or are you gone?
No,
No,
I'm sorry. It was my phone. I had gotten a message. I was trying to silence it.
oh, I thought it was we were talking about too much stuff that was breaking
No,
the dead
no.
internet.
I was just trying to silence my phone because I was getting like a whole bunch of Bigo messages at once. I was like, "Shut the fuck up." Sorry.
So
Continue.
we I want to do a thing where I'm it's like a late night talk show situation where
Okay.
like there's a desk and an audience, just like
Okay.
just like Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien, or anything like that. But I would be talking to three people, each person telling me a story, two of them true and one of them a lie. Uh,
Ooh.
and then I'm asking them the questions. I don't know who's telling me the truth and who's lying, and then the audience has to decide at the end.
I like that. I like that. Have you ever seen there's a show that's like that with like different athletes. They'll have like somebody who's like in the NBA or will be on panel with like four other dudes, right? They're just random dudes, they're the hosts. And they'll have like five athletes who will come in and say, I'm an NBA player, and they have to try to figure out which one's the real player, which ones are just actors. They'll have it for like Premier League soccer, NHL, NFL, and like they just ask them questions to try to suss out who the real actor is or the real athlete. It's shit's intense, dude. It's cool. I love that.
Was that what's that werewolf game where it's like they'd have to the villagers would have to everybody had the car. I forget. Was it like a
Oh,
MIT professor came up with this game or something?
what did
I
it
can't
do? The
remember
fuck? I know exactly what you're talking about, but now I can't remember what it's called.
like the villagers and the werewolf or something.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really remember, but it's similar to that.
Dude, I forgot about the game. Holy shit! I found okay. I found what I wanted to show you. Now, what I wanted to tell you. So this was the overall winner, by the way, of the bracket. So see the best T-shirts. Number one was they cheered for you, they paid for me. On the front and on the back, all that effort, but they still not me. All that effort, still not me. Rich Steve, baby. It's so fucking dumb. I
There
love
was
it, man. The
one of
crowd
the guys
hates me, the bank loves me.
one of the
Oh,
guys
dude,
that
this
I
is what
work
I
with
did. I
today
did this
was
for
his last
hours.
day.
Yeah.
One of the guys I work with today was his last day, and he was saying as he was walking out the door, he was saying, "Keep your eye on the prize. The prize is you. Keep your eye in the mirror." And then and he
That's
said,
nice. I was doing this for hours. So I was trying to think of like just the dumbest shit I could come up with that I could put on a shirt. That like I'd never sell. I'd never actually bring it to market. But I was just like, what the fuck can I think of? Like, what's the most retarded, dumb stuff I can shit of? Oh, I can't say that word now. I forgot. We're about to get shut down for
I
that.
mean, I mean,
But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just
we're all on the spectrum. You can say it.
I'm on the spectrum, and absolutely.
Right.
But
The,
no, dude.
the
Like that's what I'm saying.
spectrum landed right on me.
I'm playing. I'm doing that shit for hours, and like that was so fun to me. It's
Right.
so dumb though. But why? Why can't we lose ourselves like that for a while? Why do we have to feel bad about that shit? You know what I'm
I,
saying?
because I think a lot of people are very content to silence themselves and ignore their feelings
Hmm.
pretty often, and really tell themselves that like nobody else cares about what they think.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think a good amount of people really think that nobody else cares enough about what they think to ever say anything.
That's so crazy to me because I've never had that feeling myself. Do you know what I mean? Like I've felt like,
You're special though.
yeah, I know, but
You're a
no,
very special guy.
I know. Thank you,
Go
but no,
go
like
down
seriously,
there.
like that just it's crazy to think about because like to me, like that's just an exercise in creativity, just coming up with shit. And but to other people, like, because my wife thinks like she'll sit me watch me when I'm like making music and like when I'm writing songs and shit, and it like blows her mind. Like she's like, I could never just sit down and like compose music. Like, how do you do that? How does your brain do that? And it's like, I don't know. Like, how do you just compose whatever the fuck you're doing? Like, I don't know. Like, brains are weird, man. Brains are fucking strange, and I don't know.
How do you just make up shit off the top of your head to complain about?
That's exactly what he said, probably.
It's amazing how your brain does that. I'm just making that up, pulling up out of thin air. I don't know your wife. I don't know her name. I know nothing about the woman. I'm totally just messing around.
You said I'm allowed to clip anything I want, right?
Yeah.
Dude, this has been like the last like 48 hours for me, man. Like I haven't slept because the whole thing that I was doing, like I've referenced it, but I didn't really talk about it like in depth, so I'm not going to, but I'm just gonna like tell people say no. Like I released this white paper on Bigo where I was basically trying to do a call to action and call out the platform itself, the agencies, like the mid-tier agencies, and the other hosts that I interact with and call them to task for the things that they're doing that are dangerous and that are really starting to harm people who are trying to become streamers. Because there's this whole generation now of people who, like you were saying earlier, are so wrapped up in that persona. And it really does, it makes like not only just fear of missing out, like FOMO, but if you're tying your self-worth to this shit and comparing yourself to others, and there's a lot of people who are responsible for that who don't even see their part. So I'm trying to call people to task to realize that like we're all responsible for this thing and that we need to start to try to rein it in and try to fix it. So I was giving a white paper with a blueprint and a roadmap on how we can improve it so that there's not so much manipulation, there's not so much, of these people who aren't creating but who are making money. There's these agents who are taking from people, and now we're putting the power back into the people who are actually doing it, the hosts. That's the movement that I'm trying to create, and that's what I prepared and presented tonight on Bigo.
Yeah.
And then along with that, I came up with what I called a streamer liberation kit, which had set like 13 different resources that I'm giving out to people who come and join the family over there. That's like um, a return on income calculator, um, a cheat sheet that they can just plug in to plan their week as far as like hours, content, call to actions, and shit. Like I'm giving them all the spreadsheets, all the documents, everything to make it easier for them so that they no longer need these agencies so they can do it themselves. That was what I've been working on for a few months, but like the last 2 days was when I finally announced it and like put it out there. So that's what I've been doing.
I want to tell you a funny story.
Yeah.
Um, the same thing me talking about, like there's certain things that I could just not care about.
Yeah.
Um, one of those things is like I don't think like putting a flag on something or like wearing certain clothes or
Hmm.
talk like like having a bumper sticker, having anything that like becomes your identity. Like
Hmm.
we were talking, a friend of mine and I were talking today about how running becomes your identity, scuba becomes a part of your identity. Like
Yeah.
that, there's just those. I can't see me being any of that.
Mm.
I just can't. I'm not. I'm not. It's not my thing. Like I
Right.
get it that it's other people's thing, not for me.
Okay.
My doctor makes pretty good money. My doctor was telling me that he was about to, and I swore he was saying he was going to test drive a Tesla. He was going to the Tesla dealership, and I thought he was
Okay.
telling me he was going to test drive. And I was like, all right, cool. I just went like that. And I don't care. I wouldn't drive a Tesla, but I was like, all right, sure. But he was actually telling me he was going to protest at the Tesla dealership.
What?
And like, yeah, because he was saying like I'm going on a protest at the Tesla dealership. Like I thought he was going to
Just
take a
drive, test drive. Yeah.
drive, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll give a piece of my mind." And I'm like, "Oh,
Whoa.
protest! Oh, I get what you're saying. Protest, not test drive."
Damn, dude.
And, and in the back of my head, I was like, "Cool," but uh, that's not
It's
for me.
it's this is what I think about it, man. It's like I think that people feel that if they have these identities, they belong. Like everybody just wants to be the cool kid. Everybody just wants to fit in. They want to be in the in crowd, and that's what it is. You know, that's why so many of the streams look the same. So many of this look the sound the same because that's what they see succeeds. And so they just copy and paste and it works.
Like, because like what's right today is probably wrong tomorrow. Well, like
Yeah, oh,
every
absolutely.
like there's so much of that flip floppy that like
Mhm,
standing so hard on a hill that you're willing to die on
mhm.
is tough. Like
It is.
I had my friend rented a cabin in the Poconos, and
Okay.
I went to visit him, and he was showing it was like this other person's house, and he was showing me around, and he showed me this like whole case and all this memorabilia from like the guy who owns the cabin, and I was like, Dan, I think those are Nazi medals right there. And he
Ooh.
said to me, maybe he was a misunderstood Nazi?
No, he didn't say that.
And then he started talking to me about how we've all been carried away by something that we thought we were so right about. He's like,
No,
I
no.
don't like to identify as a Nazi sympathizer, maybe more of like a Nazi empathizer.
That's the new t-shirt right there. Feed that into Nova, see what they think. Dude, do you want to know what it is? You are a renaissance man. That's what it is. Like you can't get bogged down by one thing because you have too much to give into everything. Do you know what I mean?
I think so. I think I know what you mean.
This is okay. So the idea, it's like Da Vinci, you know, all them, they did so much more than just sculpt. They sculpted, they painted, they did anatomy, they did this, that, and the other. And it wasn't for them like you're only a little bit good at a lot of things. Like it was, they were very good at a lot of things. They were Renaissance men because they did so much different shit. They weren't bogged down by one thing being their identity. That's what I see when I look at you, man. That's what I see when I look at myself, honestly, too. Music, wrestling, fucking this, streaming, and like there's so many aspects that make up who you are that you don't get how somebody could make their identity just one thing.
A real jerk of all trades.
If you will, yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that it's something like that for you, probably. But maybe I'm completely wrong. I'm just reading it like I think that
I,
you have so many
I
interests.
like that framing of it. I mean, it's way easier than me retelling myself that I'll never make anything else work. Like I'm shooting as I'm kind of joking,
Yeah.
but I mean when I go like my when I look at my bank account and it's sadly not very
Mhm.
good, and
Yeah.
I look at some of the things that like could be so much better if these algorithms blessed
Hmm.
me a little bit more
Hmm.
than they do. And me going like, oh, I have to show up at these jobs on time, and I gotta do this thankless work, and I gotta sweat, and I gotta get a sunburn, and I gotta callus up my hands.
Hmm.
Like this, all this like sweat equity that could be put towards. I mean, I'm also doing this stuff where I'm training these wrestlers, and
Hmm.
this is something that I'm grateful that I get to do, but it's definitely not putting money in the bank.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
And it's like when I do stand up comedy, I'm not sweating my ass off. You know, and I'm not like I'm not. I mean, maybe I'm sweating a little bit down my butt crack because people aren't laughing at all my jokes, but that's a whole other thing.
I
But
think. No, continue. Continue.
but being that the internet exists and so many people get ridiculously wealthy off the internet who like quote unquote have no business getting ridiculously internet wealthy when like I have all the business in the world to be internet wealthy and it has passed me by uh,
It's tough,
for
man.
years. Not
It's
to
tough.
say
It's
that it's passed
something.
me by forever, but it's passed me by up until now.
It's something that I like. I catch myself with that a lot because like I get fucking heated sometimes. It's hard not to when I see some of these dudes that make it like so Bigo had a photo shoot or a commercial shoot back in like February, I think it was. It was down in Miami. They were doing it at their gala celebration, and I auditioned for it. And I passed the first audition. And I was going to the audition final. I had one more audition to go to, and then I'd be flown to Miami. And right before I was supposed to go to my audition, I got sick as fuck. I was in the hospital, missed the audition. Boom, you're out. Sorry, bud, can't do it. Um, and I was so mad. I was so mad. I was losing my shit. I was like, they're not even giving me a chance. Like, this could have been my big break. Like, I could. But then I thought, I was like, but why do I want to be down there? Because I don't like any of those people. The people who I would be in the commercial with are the people that I talk shit on and say, I don't like you. I don't make your content. I don't want your fans. So why would I want to be there with them? It's just, it's ego. It's ego driven, and then,
Ego,
yeah, it's ego.
ego.
Pico. Yeah, but no, it is. It's ego. Oh, dude, I'm about to steal that. Holy shit! Oh my god, I can't wait to do that. That's a new thing. Oh, we're doing that. But like, I remember then they had another contest recently where it was like a music contest. Okay, and
Mhm.
I fucking I put so much work into that shit that I submitted. Like I took concert footage from like 10 years of CMAS shows, plus music videos, plus backstage footage. I made this huge mashup of shit and submitted it as mine. And the dude who eliminated me in the first round and who ended up winning fucking lip synced a song. That's all he did. He sat there on his stream and then didn't even lip sync the whole thing. He's like, yeah, yeah. And then he was like, but he won. He beat me, and then he won the whole thing.
Um, this is funny because I just had this conversation last week or a couple nights ago with my fiance. You know who Alyssa is? You know, uh, so um, she when we
Okay.
met on here.
Okay.
This is where we met. Our first conversation we ever had was right here on this podcast right here. Uh,
Okay.
and I remember she had just been a guest, or not been a guest. She had been a contestant on this Netflix singing show,
Okay.
where it's like you gotta like it's kind of like remember Rock Band where you had to hit the notes
Yeah.
like, but it was that with singing,
Oh, interesting.
and the show was called Sing On, and
Okay.
she she was in like the final, like there was like two other people beside, so she was like the third to last person eliminated, but she was better than those people. And
Hmm.
she had talked about how she had like banked so much of her like, yes, I'm gonna win this money and this is gonna be life changing thing and blah blah blah. And she's talking. This was her and I've been together for almost 5 years, and this was like maybe over a year or two before we ever met that she was on the
Okay.
show, and she like was she's still now going like, oh, I feel bad I didn't win the thing, but I'm like, if look at what all you're doing. Like you're neglecting how awesome you're doing right now, thinking about that right now that happened and you'll never get back.
Exactly.
Um,
It's
and
weird. It's weird, man.
like the the fact, dude, you probably were better than those singers.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like and she gets random. You know, people still are watching the show.
Oh yeah.
Netflix reality TV show,
Right,
and
right.
she did you know, she like overplayed the reality TV diva gimmick, like, oh, you ain't messing with my money, girl. Like she did like a little bit of that, and internet people come after her still. They go in her DMs and they're like, "You were a real
Yeah.
bitch on that show," and she's like, "You're like," she'll still kind of sometimes let that stuff get to her.
Mhm.
I'm like, you don't have to, you can just let that stuff go. Like,
You can. You
how
have
long ago
to.
was
But
it?
it's hard,
2008.
man. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like but this is the thing too, was like I was just after that, then I had another fucking big opportunity. I was a contestant on one of their reality shows, and this is actually something you would have fucking killed at. It was called Wild Card Wars, and it was basically like it was divided into 3 rounds. Okay, so you had like 12 people, and the first round was like open mic for you. You could do a stand up bit, you could do a song, whatever you wanted to do. You had like 90 seconds. Then the last 2 rounds and the final were all improv that they would give you a scene to do. And I fucking killed it. I was on the premiere episode. I killed it. I was booked my trip to the final. And then the final was with like one of the like 2 or 3 of the Bigo billionaires were the judges, and like, they're giving away like $5,000. And I was like so convinced I was gonna fucking kill it because I was the only guy. I had the only perfect score in the first round, and I was gonna go in there and kill it. I was eliminated in the first fucking round of the finals. But fuck it, I don't care. Like that's what I'm saying, man. Like I've learned now that it doesn't matter. This shit doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything to care about that shit. Does it?
Well, it's weird because like I'm all the time like it's so dumb. I get that like the odds are so minute or whatever,
Mhm.
and they're silly. But I I'll buy a Mega Millions ticket. I'll buy a Powerball ticket,
Oh,
and I'll be like, when I'm scanning it on the scanner to check it, I'm like, oh, what if this one's
maybe.
it? What if this one's it? Like it's it's I guess a shameful feeling to talk about publicly, but like I do still get like that. I still do feel like when who, if not me, then who? If not, you know what I mean? Like if uh, what's the if not now, when, sort of thing.
Mhm. Do you
Uh,
want to know though? Listen. Now we're talking about. I'm gonna tell you why I'm pissed because I am still pissed. I'm fucking heated. You want to know why? So for my opening, what I did a fucking full on Rich Steve heel promo.
mhm.
And like I cut down each and every other contestant about why they were trash and why I was gonna win this. And I just fucking just the ad lib Rich Steve promo, not the best Rich Steve promo, but it was good enough. And like I got a mid card score, got eliminated. The first improv that they
Yeah.
gave them was, are you ready for this? If you were a supervillain giving your speech to the world and giving your sentiments, what it would be.
Which was what you had just done minutes before that.
I was pissed. I was
Understand,
pissed.
understand.
Literally,
Under- I
that's
mean,
what a heel is.
you can let it go. You can
You
let it
can.
go. It
You
doesn't
know
serve
what?
you to be pissed about that anymore.
I honestly did. I, to my credit, I wasn't that pissed because I stayed the entire time. And I had a great time. I stayed on cam. I chilled. I gave my gifts to the winners and had fun with it. So
Cool.
I really wasn't that bad. But that one, when I heard what the improv was, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You knew that
Is
was
it
going to be the
possible
improv."
to become? Is it possible to become a like a billionaire off of streaming?
Yeah, dude, it definitely is. I know some people who have, and dude, I don't know. I've had so many people that I've interacted with and like came up with, especially on Bigo, that have broken through to that level, and it's weird, man. Like, there's very few who don't change. Like,
What I'd like to do, and I'm talking about this in a manifestation way because I
mhm,
really believe this is gonna happen. Uh,
mhm,
I don't know anybody who's had my background in any way, as far as all the things that I do.
Mhm.
I don't think there's anybody in the world who does any of the things that I do with the amount of experience that I have with those things.
Mhm.
Uh, so getting big at this and then having that parlay me into a career with the WWE makes more sense than anything in the world.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I I'm I belong there more than most individuals who exist in this
Mhm.
world.
Mhm.
Uh, I've put
Absolutely.
enough sweat equity and experience points into it. Um,
Mhm.
not I mean not to say that WWE is the only uh, direction I want to head in, but
But as
I'd
far
like
as like
to at some
entertainment and
point.
shit, like that's and it's weird. It's not like I'm trying to fucking stroke you off here, but like that's a lane for you that you would be fucking. It
Yeah, I mean
fits.
the same thing with me checking those Mega Millions tickets.
Mhm.
If not me, who? If not now, when?
Right. But I don't think
Right,
it's wrong to have that feeling. I
right.
think it's and like you said, it's a manifestation. But I think it's good to have that self awareness and that self confidence because
I don't
do you
even
think that the
know if
people
it.
who are as successful as they can be at the top of their games and whatever it is, do you think that they ever look at themselves and say, "I shouldn't be here"? Because I don't
Right.
think that they do. I
No.
think that there's a certain, and especially let's just say, for example, if you become president of the United States, there's not one person who's become president that isn't a fucking narcissist and shit. Because
Right.
the amount of ego that you have to say, I can do that job,
I've
I
got
can get to
the
that
answers.
level.
I'll fix everything in the country.
Do you know how much ego you need to have to do that? How much fucking self confidence? Like, even if you're the nicest guy in the world, you're still a fucking narcissist if you think you can do this job better than anybody else. But they succeed with it. I think it's the same thing with that. Like, I don't think it sounds bad to say that you deserve to be in WWE, you deserve to do this because it's just you
I
know your ability and you know that
I
you can
don't
do it
think
better.
I don't think that I think that I'd be more on the capacity of the like Logan Paul special appearances
Yeah,
mode,
yeah, yeah,
like or like the or even in AEW. Not to say that like
yeah.
they're like I'm not friends with them enough, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Not we've never had the opportunity
Right.
for us to become friends, but there are other people there who I have known, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And you know this as well as me, and I've mentioned it on this podcast before. Whenever somebody gets on TV in wrestling, they'll forget you. They forget you. Like
Please.
any friend I've ever had who's got on TV forgets I exist. And
I have
I
somebody in my mind right now that just, yep.
like forgets to respond to my calls, forgets to I get you're on the road,
Right.
however long you're on the road for,
Mm-hmm.
but like your number doesn't change, does it? Mine won't. Mine
No.
doesn't. Uh, it's you you meet the same people on the way up as you meet on the way down, that kind of thing.
Yep.
I definitely don't go like I'm gonna be a wrestler in the WWE and that's it. I'm in my 40s and I'm a brain
No, you're
surgery
23.
survivor. What's that?
No, you're 23.
Right, yeah. But I'm not
I know,
the
I know, I
ideal
know.
like hire
Yeah.
for risk assessment and all that, and putting investments into something. But it's like I would see myself getting successful and getting myself built up in my own ways, and then having that parlay into these
Yes.
appearances.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
I mean that's what I see making more sense than anything else. And
See?
or now I'm training students.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. So now it's like I don't know,
Right.
man. Like for me, like as far as like the question about Bigo with it, like I had an experience the other day. There was this girl who she had come in when I had started. We were like pretty much the same time, and Like she did her first ever PK battle on my stream, like because she didn't want to do events, she didn't want to do anything like that. Like that wasn't her thing. But she came on my stream because we had connected. She knew that like I was in recovery, she was in recovery, and she came and told her story, and it was like an amazing recovery story and all this shit. And like she would always come on my stream, and I would go on hers, and like everything was cool. And then the other day I went on to her stream for the first time. And it had been a while because I wasn't trying to hound her while she was getting big and famous and shit. And when I knew her, she was Courtney. Now all of a sudden she's fucking Harley. And when I knew her, she had like 4,000 followers. Now she has like 17 million followers, and she didn't know who I was,
Mm.
quote unquote. She said, "Oh,
Mm.
hey, welcome to my stream. What's your name? Stevie? Rich? Richie? Hey, Richie, what's up?" My name's never changed. I've been Steve. I've been Rich Steve since fucking 16 years old.
Uh,
You see my level. You know who I am. Like that. That's the shit that hurts. Like that's the shit that's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Hey Steve, you're like pro like whatever that the old wrestling promo that I sent you that I found of yours on that exact channel. I found footage of me. Did you see the evolution thing that I made of it?
No, I didn't.
Where it was like 2007 me versus me now.
Oh my god, no.
Oh man, I was a little skinny shit, man. I was, and then I'll show it to you later. But
Please don't.
oh great, oh man, what 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 change that we're always in the middle of?
Dude, that was wild. What was your reaction when you found me? Really? Wait a minute, Steve.
I was like,
What?
hey, yeah, Steve, what's up?
Like fucking. That was 16 in that video you sent me.
Wow, wow.
That was my first ever like match out of school. Like that was
Mhm,
the first time after Gemini and fucking Onslaught had said, "Okay, you're good to go." Like not
mhm,
against him, but against somebody else. Not in a
mhm.
tag team, not as a manager, not against my trainers. Like you're out there and like you're gonna win a belt tonight, and then it just went to shit. But to see the
Fantastic.
promo and that the
Well,
like that promo that I cut
2007.
was so vintage Rich Steve, but still the energy and shit's the same type of shit I do now. Like to see the evolution, but to see the similarities that stayed, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's awesome. That's very cool.
It's
I
career, it's arc, it's career arcing, man. That's cool, man. That's cool to me.
so I might have asked you this last time you were here. I'll ask you again. Out of all, you've had so many more experiences as a podcaster and as a guest on podcasts
Mhm.
and streams, and all out of all those times, what's something that you've never been asked that you'd wish that someone had asked you?
Hmm. I don't even know. I don't know. What's your answer?
What's something that you've never shared with your audience?
Mm. Um. Oh, okay, let me think. Hmm. Hmm. That's something I don't want to tell anybody. Oh no, that's definitely not a story to tell. But um, shit, I don't know, man. I really don't know. Like, what do you think? What's your answer? What's the question you were asked?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. What? Well, I mean, it's gonna get switched around, and you're gonna be able to ask me stuff
Okay,
afterwards.
okay,
But so no, not thinking about me right now. We're on you.
okay.
Um,
Um, what, give me a deep dive question, man. Give me something you want. What's something you
like
want to know?
what's the first what's the first like comedy movie you ever watched?
Okay. Okay. How about this? Like, I would say because I didn't really like, I didn't watch a lot of comedies. Kid. I was a really big horror movie from a very young age. And oh, here's something. Do you know what I have the deepest phobia of? Like the deep rooted, like 100% to my core phobia. There's two things that I'm deathly afraid of. Do you know what they
Uh,
are?
sea monsters.
No, not sea monsters. Sea monsters are just ghouls. They're fine. Number one is bats. Specifically, not bats, but rabies. Rabies is my biggest fear in the world because
Hmm.
rabies is the worst fucking way to die. Did you know that? It's
No.
the most painful. It's the it's one of those, it's one of the only things in the world where once they find that you have it, it's already too late. Like
Hmm.
once they say you have rabies, you're fucked. You're dead already. There's only
Hmm.
one known protocol that can work, and it only worked two times ever. And it's involving like freezing your brain down to such a low level that you die, and then they reboot you. You get aquaphobic, you foam at the mouth, and then you just fucking swallow your tongue and die. And you won't even know you have it until it's too late, and it can come from such a small little scratch, small little bite. Like that fucks with me. That's number one. The other thing that's fucking scares me to death, religious iconography. Like like a picture of Jesus or like the Sacred Heart specifically and shit. And this is the weirdest. I was deep diving this with my wife the other day because I was trying to figure it out. She was like, "Well, you grew up Catholic, so it's probably just because you were told about hell." And I was like, "No, it wasn't that because like school, like going to Catholic school, going to fucking church and shit, like it wasn't putting the fear of God in me. What it was." Number one was Carrie and seeing her fucking closet that she got put in by her mom. And number two, my great great grandmother, just say was 90 years old, lived in Bayonne, New Jersey. She would have me sleep on the third floor of her apartment complex. And right across the hall from my room was a room that her dead husband used to be in. And it was just a flickering yellow light with a picture of Jesus that was hanging over the bed that I would just see all night.
Hmm.
Fucked me up, man. To this day, man, I cannot be in a room if there's a picture of Jesus. I can't go to a church if I'm alone. I can't like nuns freak me out. Like I don't know why. But that well, I do know why because I just figured it out. But isn't
Hmm.
that's weird, right?
Yeah, I was in Catholic school for I was in Catholic school up until third grade, I think, and I went to church every week, and
Yeah,
it freaked me out too. It freaked me
it's
out.
creepy. It's
Did
creepy
you ever
shit,
see?
man.
Did you
It's
ever see
creepy
that?
shit.
Did
But
you ever
like
see
that's the
that
thing though
episode?
is like I'm a staunch of an atheist as you can be. Like I don't believe in any of this shit. I don't think there's biblically accurate angels out there waiting to fucking kill me because they're creepy as fuck. Biblically accurate angels. If you never looked that up, but like for whatever reason, it's just this peace in my core, and I think it's from those two things that just it freaks me the fuck out. So
Hey,
yeah, the horror
hey, did
movies
you
I
ever
loved.
hear the joke?
Mm.
What's the difference between Jesus and a picture of Jesus?
No, what?
It only takes one nail to hang a picture.
Ego, ego.
I heard that from a Jamaican man in a
That's fucking
Jamaican.
hilarious. Dude, that's those. There's your answer. That's something nobody ever asked me, and I kind of wish nobody had ever asked me. I'm glad that that deep rooted fear has now been exposed to the world.
Mhm.
Fucking
Yeah,
rabies, man.
you taught me a few things about rabies that I never knew. You taught me the rabies of
I can't. Yeah.
taught me the rabies. So thanks for that.
Do you remember Cracked.com and Cracked magazine?
Oh yeah,
Did you know
that
that
was
I have
where that
two?
was
I
where I
was interviewed
originally
twice on
saw.
Cracked.
What's that?
I was interviewed on Cracked.com twice.
Nice.
Once was doing a they were trying to find out about professional wrestling. I was interviewed as a wrestler and like given like what it's like to be an indie wrestler. The other one was my perspective of being a juggalo. I was interviewed to be they want to know what a juggalo was. And just
I
random.
didn't know you were a juggalo.
You did not know that. Oh,
I,
down with the clown. I'm down for life, yo.
I think that if I did know it, I forgot it. And and being a juggalo is fine for everybody. I think it's good for I think it's fine. But it's the same thing as I talked about that soccer team It's the same thing. I like when people go like
Mm.
when somebody's into
It's
things.
embarrassing. It's
I go.
embarrassing though. It's embarrassing. Like that. This is the thing. I feel like juggalerism has been a lot more accepted in the last few years. Like it's not as much of a punchline as it used to be. Like, dude, when I was in high school, people like tore me apart for that shit. But even for as involved in the scene as I was, and because I was like I was doing shows, I opened up for ICP and these dudes. Like I was always a little bit embarrassed by the way that people acted and shit. Because I, like you said, like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, you know what I mean?
It's what is this ultimate frisbee?
Exactly, exactly. Like,
Uh, but
like
yeah,
when you're coming up to me, you go, "Oh, 2 scoops of whoop, brother, whoop whoop." Like the fuck? How many scoops of what?
I had friends who were juggalos in high school and middle school. I remember and like there's a fine line between being a wrestling fan and being a juggalo.
It's
Uh,
very fine,
and
very fine.
it's the same like as JR would call it, fat shaming. Wrestling
Hmm.
fans get fat shamed.
Hmm.
The same thing, the juggalo and the juggalo, like the clowns, uh, Shaggy and
And Jay,
Jay.
yeah,
There were wrestlers, indie wrestlers, before
hmm,
they were ever clowns.
yeah,
So
they were.
that's really cool. I just look at them as like they're one of the boys, and I always have, even when they were in WWF and did the whole oddities.
Dude, that's how I was exposed to them. That's how I found ICP was from that SummerSlam that they were at with the oddities.
Mhm.
They were wrestling to me before they were from the music. Like,
Whenever anybody brings up ICP to me, that song gets stuck in my head.
everybody come to the greatest show. That's a good song. That's a good song, actually.
Right. Yeah, and I say, "Oh yeah, dumb diddy dumb."
Dude, those guys are fucking geniuses, man. Like, marketing geniuses.
Yeah, for sure.
And dude, I have to say, like, all of the different shows that I've done, like wrestling, music, whatever, the best run was working with ICP for the show we opened up for them. It was run like a fucking like to the T, to everything. It was like going to a military thing almost, like because they had their people there, they were doing their shit, they knew what they were doing, they knew where you would be, and it was just like boom, 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 boom. It was so easy, such an easy night. And then the Juggalos bought all my merch because that's what they do. But like, it felt good to like know that, like, because I'd been such a fan of them, like fan fucking marking out for them, but I wasn't trying to. But like seeing behind the scenes that they were that efficient was kind of a cool thing, like reaffirming to me that like it wasn't a bad thing that I looked up to these dudes because I saw how the fucking sausage was made that night and like the way that they put their shit into it. It was like it was a masterclass to watch, man, of everything backstage.
Tell me if you experienced this like when you were first coming up, because this is 2007, right? And you were
2006,
like
2007,
16
yeah.
years old, first coming up into the wrestling business.
Hmm.
Uh, the idea is you're not supposed to be a mark,
Oh, 100%.
and like the idea
100%.
of shaming the young boys who are marks into
Mhm,
not being marks
mhm.
was a culture in the early 2000s.
You just heard
Uh,
me say I didn't want to mark out for them.
right.
That
Yeah.
stems from that.
Yeah. It was this weird thing, like, and like I started seeing earlier today, just kind of started seeing both sides of it. Because like some part of it is like you you want to still be a mark so that you can be humble and remember why you want to do this, but you
Mhm.
don't want to be a mark to be looked at as in like you're only a mark and you're just that.
Right.
So there is something that separates us from
From
them.
that.
And also, like, I'm not a mark where I'll go and I'll cheer and I'll boo and blah blah. Like I'm not that guy, but
Right.
I'm not gonna chant shit. Like that's not for me.
Do
Like
you do you know who taught me something about this? Who took me out of that mindset?
yeah,
Nikolai Volkov. He was the
okay.
one who took me out of this mindset. I was working a show with him. I was driving with him. I was doing an autograph sign with him, and then we worked together that night down in Virginia Beach. And Badass Billy Gunn was working on the show. And I was like watching Billy Gunn. I said something to Nick. I was like, man, he was one of my favorite wrestlers when I was a kid. And he's like, well, why don't you go get a picture with him? And I was like, because I'm not a mark. I'm not gonna go ask Billy Gunn, can I get a picture with you? And he's like, well, why not? If he was one of your favorite wrestlers as a kid, and like you're saying that, like you're telling me stories about how you used to like watch the Road Dogg when him with your dad and shit, like why wouldn't you want to go get a picture with him? I'm like, because I'm a mark if I do that. And he's like, no, you're fucking not. You're just he's a wrestler. He has people that he watched as a kid. Go up and tell him, Billy, come over here. And he made me get a picture with Billy Gunn. But after that, I never again felt weird asking for something like that.
Hmm.
And like, if Nikolai Volkov could tell me, like, the fuck are you talking about? Just go get a picture with the guy. It made me start to rethink it a little bit.
Mm.
I don't know.
An interesting story. Nikolai
Dude,
Volkov was a really good guy to be around, and I loved when he would when he would when he'd come up and he'd feel my muscles and he's like, you're doing it. And always had a blast being around Nikolai Volkov. He always
I always
he
cry
would like point
sometimes
people
when
out
I
and be
think
like,
about him, man.
that
Cause like,
person needs to go to
I
the
love,
weight room.
dude, I almost cry sometimes, man. Cause he was one of the most genuine and kind people I ever met. Like
Mhm.
Nikolai Volkov, I remember he fucking called me at like 2 in the morning after I dropped him off for one of the shows. And he called me because I told him that my dad had brain cancer at the time. And he wanted to give me a soup recipe that was supposed to fucking help cure cancer that they used back in fucking Ukraine. He called me at fucking 2 in the morning. He goes, Steve, this is Nikolai Volkov. Like, I know Nikolai. I think you're the only Russian I talked to, and you're the only Russian who called me at 3 in the morning, number two. But what? What do you want? He's like, I have the recipe. I'm gonna read it to you now. Like, what the fuck? Like, Nikolai Volkov remembered that my dad had cancer and that he was gonna give me a recipe when he told me that 9 hours ago on a car ride. Like, that's the
Wow.
type of dude he was.
Wow.
And like it happened all the time. He would just call just to like see how you were, see how your family was. Like it, I don't know, man. He was one of the most genuine people I ever met. Like I really did. I love Nikolai. It's it's one of those things that like I don't even feel bad saying that. Like I don't think that that's weird or markish or anything because he was just such a genuine person.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I I have learned that there is no derogatory way of saying Mark, like at all. I don't believe it.
No.
I uh, I understand that the people who are just marks and that's it don't understand what it's like to touch the ring, touch the ropes, don't know what it's like to fall down in the ring, don't know what it's like to have the steel cables brush burn your back and your underarms. Like I get that. I get it.
I don't know what it's like to
Like
slip in
and
hot
you're
stuff.
right. That having hot stuff burn your eyeballs. Yeah. That
Oh my god, the ACPW canvas when it was like that fucking pool tar where you get some hot stuff on there. I was
yeah.
dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro,
Sister X, how are you?
I was so guilty of bringing the hot stuff back and then not using it and then bringing it back and then not using it and then bringing it back. I flip flopped with hot stuff more times in the last 15 years. It's
That's
ridiculous.
such an unlocked like core memory of mine of
Well,
like being a
that
green orc.
smell, the
It's
smell
so
memory.
yes.
It just you just automatically know that it's like the smell of popcorn at the movies.
Yes. It's the
The-
smell of a Jaeger bomb. Yeah, because I just think of hot stuff and fucking Red Bull. I don't know why. Like hot stuff and Red Bull, it's just like in the fucking locker room. Like it takes me right there.
All right. A few more things, and then I'll shove you off.
No,
Shove you
yeah,
off to the
yeah. I told
sunset
you I
with
could go. I could go tonight, baby. This is
dogs and handshakes. So see, your price went up.
Mildly, mildly. I take only the best grilled kielbasa now. I don't take hot dogs. I like kielbasa.
Brats.
I love brats. Love brats. But leave that for Brian Hardy and Armstrong. I'm taking only the liverwurst, the not worst.
The best. The
The
best.
best. Dude. I don't even know about that shit, man. Like I've had so many weird experiences with paydays. Like
Yeah.
so many weird experiences.
Yeah.
And it's just so crazy to think about how accurate that shit is
Well,
sometimes.
it's weird because like you're when you're at a level, even when you're at a level where like your name value is growing, you still feel bad. Like these promoters make you feel bad, like
Hmm.
you're taking from them the only minute little piece of what they're going to be getting from this house that
So,
you helped build.
so weird. It's a weird feeling.
It's a boxed in manipulation that like and it's the thing that these promoters do where like they'll they'll like be watching the entire show and you'll
Hmm.
come back and you'll say, "Hey, what'd you think of my match?" And they're like, "Oh, I missed it. I was doing something else." They always do that so they can not know that it was as good as it was, and
Hmm.
not like uh, give you
You're due.
your attaboy.
Yep.
You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Do you know what's a weird feeling to me? And this is like so exclusive to indie wrestling. Like I remember working the show with Nikolai, right? So it was Nikolai, it was Virginia Beach. We did an autograph signing at an anime convention in the afternoon. They put me up in the La Quinta. They paid for my rental car. They paid for me to get dinner. It was a beautiful thing. I got like $200 plus my merch. Great night. The very next weekend, I worked for Crazy Shay in fucking Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, in a backyard because they got their school condemned and they couldn't do the show in the school anymore. And I had to pay Shay $20 because he lost his fucking keys or some shit.
I've, bro, the last match that I had, um, the last match that I had was a show that Shay was on, and that was the first time I had seen him, and it was like last September or October
Okay.
is what I'm gonna guess. 2024,
Hmm.
the first time I had seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Uh, he looked like he had aged 10 years since the last time I saw him. Not to say, like, he probably did. I mean, he might have.
Well,
It
yeah,
might have been
but
10
I know
years
what you
since the
mean.
last time I saw him. What's that?
I know exactly what you mean, but yes.
Yeah, and I was a little weirded out by that, but then also weirded out by um I I agreed to do one of his events, but he was gonna not pay me. And it was a campground event, and I was going to be staying at the campground, and then I just no showed it. I talked
Oh,
myself out of it. I just talked myself. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't. I value my body more, and I value my work more than to go do that. And I never talked to him about it, and I never brought it up. So I felt weird about the fact that when I saw him in September or October, I never brought it up. And also, like, I worked one of his students and uh, showed the kid more about the wrestling business than he ever heard or knew before.
it's sad because like I love Shay. Like I love Eric Shay.
Yeah, nothing bad. I
No,
don't really
no,
have.
I have
I
nothing
have no
bad. I
bad
have nothing bad to
experiences.
say
Yeah.
about him. He's one of my he was my one of my best friends for a while, man. Like he used to come over to my house all the time and hang out with me and my mom and shit. Like he he's the one who helped me get back into wrestling, back into it because I
Mhm.
had stopped after I left ACPW because I got dropped on my head and shit, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. Like I didn't want the bullying and shit, and Shay was the one who went and like I had been retired for years or whatever, and Shay hit me up out of the blue and was like, I want you to come and do some shit for me. And I was like, It's crazy because I really want to get into wrestling again. And I had just been reaching out to Matt Tremont, and I'd been reaching out to CCW in Lancaster to Rob Noxious. And I was going to
Mhm,
either go to Tremont School H2O or I was going to go to CCW school and try to get back into it. And just out of the blue, Shay hit me up and he was like, "Yo, I have this thing I'm starting. Nobody knows who the fuck you are, so I want you to be the big heel." And
mhm,
that's what set into motion the entire thing of what Rich G became. I
mhm,
can never take that away from Shay. I love Shay for that. But I know exactly what you mean. And it's sad because he has so much passion and so much shit, but it's just so corny sometimes,
mhm. Yeah. Uh,
you know? And it's not his fault that people
no,
like to see the fucking, crazy train shit. But like, do you remember when he set himself on fire?
yeah, I was just thinking about that.
And while his girlfriend was driving behind the helivac that was bringing him, her Honda got run off the road by a bear. And it just also happened to be that this GoFundMe was the exact same price as the new school that they bought.
Hmm.
And I remember I told Too Cold Scorpio this story, and he was listening. We were driving, and he said, "Wait, you said she what?" I said, her Honda got run off the road by a bear," and he goes, "Man, I've been in the wrestling business for 30 years. I ain't never once heard about no motherfucking bear running their car off the road."
That story was barely true.
but like, but like that's the thing though. Like, that's the shit that like it bums me out because that's not the Shay that I knew. You know what I mean?
I knew this guy. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
mention any names, but I knew this guy who was a promoter in Pennsylvania,
Okay.
and he was dying of cancer 100 times. I heard this guy was dying of cancer, and then they fixed him, and then he was dying of cancer again, and then they fixed him, and then he was dying of cancer again, and then they fixed him, and he put on this benefit show
Mhm.
for himself and for whatever the diagnosis was, and then got himself a brand new TV right after that. A brand new when flat screen TVs were huge, flat screen TVs weren't as easily accessible as they are now.
All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna say one thing. I'm not gonna say anything else. I've done business with Ian Rotten.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, 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 I, same.
Yep.
Uh,
I've been IWA Mid South. I've done business with Ian. But
mhm,
yep.
heard heard that, heard that. Uh,
I think Misty's still going to the Coles to go get the gift card tomorrow. I think it's coming.
oh, it's on its way.
Dude, I feel bad though because know who I actually felt bad about with that was Rebecca Payne because she like vouched for him so hard for me. She like swore up and down and she really thought that Ian had like reformed himself and was like a good guy and all this shit. And like Rebecca Payne's a nice lady. I love her. She's a cool chick.
Yeah, I've known her
And
for a long time.
when she fucking like found out that he had like fucked off with everybody's money again, like she was so hurt, man. And like that fucked me up because she had gone to bat so hard for him. You know?
I can only feel so bad for somebody.
Yeah, I know.
When you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. That's just the way it is
Yeah,
sometimes.
no, I know. I know. I know. Well, I mean, there's a reason I never gave Ian that money.
Um,
I only made sure Ian gave me money.
so I want to make sure I say to you, I'm happy that we're doing this again. I'm very very pleased. I'm very blessed that you decided to come and join me again. I wanna put out to you how much I always talk about this, and it really means so much. The currency of effort and attention has such a high value for me.
Yeah,
And the fact that you would spend any of that currency with me and on me is so appreciated. And
dude.
I want to let you know if you can ever if you can ever use me as a resource, if you can ever want to pick my brain, if you ever want to, if you want to just talk, if you just need a friend to talk to, you can reach out to me at
Thank you,
any
man.
time of the night.
I
And I'm
appreciate that, bud. For real though, like that. That's the thing. Like moving to fucking Newark, like I know nobody here, man. Like that's a culture shock for me, especially going from Philly, where Delco, Philly, like everybody's so close. Everybody's so like, you know how
yeah,
it
man.
is. And
I
now I'm
mean,
in.
if you were still living in Delco, we could be hanging out right now
I know.
because I just moved up here.
It's crazy that it's like same time frame we switched.
Right,
But nah, man, I appreciate you having me on. I love doing this because it's rare that I get to talk to somebody who like, and even if we only like briefly knew each other back at ACPW, that like knows all of these references and knows all of these stories and stuff, that it's cool because like so many people don't know that shit. And they don't get what I'm talking about when I say these things. They like the culture and the way that it was back then. Like, because like I'm only 34 years old. Like I was 16 when I started wrestling.
right,
So like people look at me, they're like, you were around with Trent Acid, you were around with this type of culture. It's like, yeah, like so it's cool to have somebody who can like reaffirm and talk about those things because nobody else gets it.
right.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
like you, Chapel,
the old
Marty
dead
Corbs,
fans.
Mark Angel, Chris Wilde, Gray Wolf, and that's like it that I can think of from back then. And Shay.
Yeah, I know all those people.
Mm.
I I just went to the TWA's one and done show,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna actually have Bay Ragney on the podcast tomorrow talking about it. And I saw Chris Wilde and Breaker. That was Breaker's.
Breaker. I thought Breaker was in GCW the other day. Okay,
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
give you a name. Do you
I
remember this
mean,
one? Do you
he
remember
had his
Brian
retirement
Sosha,
match.
Mark Smart? Do you remember Mark Smart?
You're talking about Brian
Brian
Sosha?
Sosha?
Yeah, yeah. Of course
Love
I know
that
Brian.
dude. Love that dude.
Of course I know Brian. I knew Brian back in 2003 probably. So
That's a name that I haven't heard for so long. I had to bring it up because I knew that you would like that one.
well, like because when I was training at the CZW school, and I'm gonna say this is 2001.
Hmm.
My classmates were Chris Cash and GQ, and they were running matches with Greg and Brian uh, for HWA, and
Dude,
then I was hanging out with Brian at a Dapper show on the Wildwood Beach. Uh,
he he was my first. He was my first match. Like my first in like in a bar, not being Rich Steve, just being a greenhorn match was it was
mm,
an ACPW show at whatever that little bar was in like our like oh it was on a state road or some shit. It was like at this little bar, and it was me and Brian Sosha worked each other. And I did a straight edge gimmick where I wore like a CM Punk t-shirt and shit from like IWA Mid South. And Brian Sosha was like came up with the whole thing. He was like, "I'm gonna be the drunk commentator, dude, and I'm gonna stick up for everybody who drinks, and you're gonna be the straight edge little nerd kid, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of you." And I was like, what? And I still remember the whole match.
that's awesome.
Dude,
That's awesome.
I loved when he would come to the ACPW school, man. I learned a lot from that guy.
Yeah,
Like for like gimmick wise and shit. Like he was a big influence on me. I loved working with that dude and the way he talked, especially for the radio shit and all. Like I loved him, man.
I wish you would return my phone calls and my text
Oh,
messages.
dude. But that's what I'm saying, man. Like those are memories that are just like locked, man. They're
Dude,
locked.
I love Brian, and I will stay loving that dude forever. Um, but I'm just busting chops at the fact that he doesn't answer my calls or my text messages or
Well,
my.
it's okay. I'll answer a call. I answer calls sometimes. I love you, buddy. We're
With
glad that we get to do this, man. Like, cause
With that, man,
yeah, we're
I'm gonna
done.
switch it around. I'm gonna flip it around. So this is your opportunity to talk to me about anything you'd like to say to me, or ask me any questions you'd like to know the answers to.
Okay. Okay. So tell me then, like what is your aversion to just hopping on Bigo right now, making an account and putting in the work. Like, what's your hesitation to that? Because it feels like there's something that is holding you back from even giving it a try. I don't know what it is. So I was just wondering, like, what do you see that makes you not want to try shit like that and do other platforms to just kind of like get that spark going?
I'm currently trying so many platforms at the moment.
Hmm.
Not to say that like I don't have time, but it's like really like a how am I keeping track of everything and still
Fair.
accomplishing? I'm working 7 days a week,
Hmm.
um, and at the gym, so like it's like it's just a matter of like fitting that into my time.
That makes sense to me. Because I wondered it because if it would had more to do with like when you had been on there before and you had like a negative experience, because like I can't get it out of my mind about how good I think you would do there.
Okay.
And like I don't know what it is, but just something in my mind, it's like one of those like ships passing in the night moments where it's like, damn, I really wish that I could get you to go and do the thing because I feel like you'd be so good with it. I don't know. That's why I had to just ask like what it was.
I don't know.
But
It
that makes
just
sense.
felt so
Timing makes
good to
sense.
delete that. It just felt so good to delete the app.
You're
I
right
just
though. You're
I
right
get
though.
certain apps deleting them makes me feel really good,
And
and
you know
it felt
what? That's
so
not
good
an
deleting
uncommon
that
thing I
app.
hear. It's not uncommon.
Mhm.
It's just I don't know why I was just curious on that one.
And
And
I think also I might have been because the way I found it was through LinkedIn. Uh, the way that I found
oh,
it was through LinkedIn. So an agency signed me up, and I don't know about conflicting anything. Like so, that was I think the reason why I was like, I don't know, all this bad taste in my mouth.
that
Um,
makes sense. That makes sense. That
so
really makes
that
sense.
might be what's stopping me from signing up right now and starting all over again. Then someone being like, "Hey, you signed with us," and blah blah blah. I and I don't even remember who it was. I couldn't
I can tell
follow
you
up.
with 100% certainty that that wouldn't be an issue. But
Okay,
but don't worry about it. But I'll tell you 100% you would not have to worry about that.
okay.
Um,
Well, that'll be something I'll explore tomorrow.
I would just like you to come on my show one time. That's what I would like.
All right.
I would
Well,
like
then
you. I would like to have you come on Consumed one night and just do the hour with us, because
I
I feel like it would be really like like I just feel like you have so much to offer, and I think it would be fun. But anyway, besides that point, so then another question. Let's see. What do you think is what do you think's your biggest fear currently? Like, what's something that you're like the most in your head about and shit? Because it sounds like you had like like there's something that's holding you back right now, and I want to know what it is. Like you seem like you're hungry right now. You really want to do some shit, but you're like not ready to fully jump in on something. I want to know what it is.
hmm.
Is there something, or am I just reading you wrong?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's coming from somewhere. If you're getting that if you're getting that vibe
But
somehow,
it's
I don't.
not. It's not a negative. I'm not saying it is a
Right.
negative. It's just saying like I feel like you're so you feel so much more determined right now than the last time I talked to you, and
Okay.
it's it's encouraging and it's I love it. But I feel like you're holding yourself back somehow, and I don't know what it is or why. I might be completely wrong. I could be reading the room wrong. Maybe I'm just trying to get too analytical, but
I mean, I do want so much more than what I've got, and I uh, I think I'm afraid of sabotaging. I self sabotage hardcore,
yeah,
and I always have self sabotaged.
I
I'm
feel
afraid
like
of getting like real big and then self
yeah,
sabotaging it somehow.
I feel like this has been like it's kind of been an underlying theme of our talk tonight for both of us. Has been like it's not like a bitterness, but like a chip that like we want more and like we are fighting for more, we're striving for more, but it's always something. I feel like that's been kind of an undercurrent thing where like I was talking about the white paper tonight and how I was like railing against these hosts or this shit with the fucking, the reality shows and stuff. Like there's always something other than you saying like how you should be on WWE. Like there's this underlying theme tonight of we want more, we want to be better. And I wonder like for us, what's stopping us? And it's like you said, I think for me the same thing. It's just myself and that
Mhm.
fear of myself. I think it
Right.
is.
Yeah. I mean, it's uh, I think I have let other people convince me that I was stupid for very long in my life,
Hmm.
and thinking that I was stupid myself because they convinced me I was stupid.
Yeah.
Uh, and I got to the point where like I would be insulted by anybody in so like anybody trying to insult my intelligence or call me stupid or call me like it was such a trigger for me for so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
I got to the point where like why would I care about what anybody has to say or think? Because like what are they to me? I consider the source on it. And I go like, well, I'm
Dude,
I'm
that's
not.
like some midnight gospel shit. That's some Duncan Trussell shit.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that's
it does.
something Clancy figures out, dude.
Yeah. Like I really I like me way more than I care about your opinion of me. Uh, that's stamped. I'm stamping that. You can't unstamp you can't triple stamp a double stamp.
But how long did it take you to get to that point? Is the question.
It
Or
took
was it
me
easy for you
till
to get
right
there?
now, till today. It took me yesterday to thinking about it, and it'll take me tomorrow to rediscover that.
Yeah.
Like it's not a thing that I constantly know. It's a thing that I have to constantly relearn.
That's not something that I think that a lot of people are ready to face. That you have to constantly relearn a lot of things, especially when it comes to self confidence and those types of places where you want to be. And like we said, not comparing yourself to everybody else's fucking feed.
Yeah, and no one else can compare to me. Not at
Mm,
all. Like nobody
no,
else has 20 years of pro wrestling experience uh, and and this cool mustache.
no, I
Not
don't have a
everybody else.
beard. You have a mustache. You live on a train track. You're tying damsels in distress up.
Uh, and and also nobody else is has done what I do in like stand up comedy and pro wrestling and a brain surgery survivor and
Mhm.
you know the product of a single mother who is a lesbian who has MS and a gay brother and a gay sister and all like
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. You're a
all those
Renaissance man. You
versatile
have so
things
much.
that have made me that have built up the experience and the perspective that I have. And where I have all those things, you've also got things that are exactly
Exactly. It's
specific
unique.
to you. And they're specifically unique to you and everybody else who's watching, listening,
Mhm.
or reading anything anywhere.
Humanity is
Your
amazing, dude.
your journey is so unique and it's only unimportant if you tell yourself it's unimportant. Like I believe that you deserve everything that you believe that you deserve. And
Exactly.
if you believe that what you're saying like no one's going to care about, maybe
We're
no one's
not
going
going
to
to care.
like you've
If
got
you
to
don't care,
believe
why should I care?
right. Yeah. If you don't love yourself, how the hell you going to love somebody else?
It's true, man. That was a realization that I had when I got sober, man. Like that was a huge thing for me. Loving myself and forgiving myself was number one
I,
before I could even begin to ask forgiveness from anybody else or seek love from anybody else.
I just did a speaking engagement at a
Mhm.
rehab facility,
That's
talking to people who are getting sober, and
that's a great experience, man. That's
I
one of
was
my
talking
favorite
to
things to do. One of my absolute favorite things to do.
I was talking to them about accountability, and I was talking to them about I said accountability is like the wheel of fortune. You know the way the game wheel is laid out, where it has all these different amounts of money, and then like the bankruptcy flag is smaller than
Hmm.
every other flag.
Hmm.
Say that thing that says bankruptcy says your name on it, and all the other big money things say other people's names on them. Spin it until you hit bankruptcy. the accountability wheel says you've got to be accountable. Like it can't be this person's fault, that person's fault, this person's fault, that person's fault. My dad, my mom, my brother, my sister. It can't be any of those people's fault. It's got to be you.
Exactly. Because it's always somebody else's fault, man. Always.
You spend the most amount of time with you than you do anybody else. Might as well love the sound of your voice.
Mhm. Exactly. What are they saying? Adam's Family Values. The girl that fucking is at the camp. I'll be the victim. And Wednesday goes, all your life.
Are the Girl Scout cookies made of real Girl Scouts?
Dude, and just one more little thing I want to plug real quick before we do anything. Well, it's on my mind. September 24th, up in PA, there's going to be a show for Jeff Cannonball, who was just diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, and they have a GoFundMe for him right now. And Tony Deppen and Joey Janela are putting together this Cannonball show, and I just want everybody to know he's one of the nicest fucking people in the entire world, not just
He's
in
been
wrestling, but
on
in
this
the entire
podcast
world.
multiple times.
What?
He's been on this podcast multiple times.
So
He's
like, and
one of my favorite dudes.
if
I
if
didn't realize
anybody
he.
listening, like if you can, please September 24th, go to the Cannonball Show, donate to his GoFundMe now if you can, because he deserves it. He's such a fucking good guy, man. That broke my heart to hear, man. I only thought about that because I kept seeing myself and I kept seeing Cannonball in myself a little bit tonight with the hair.
I said because when he like reinvented himself with making those like soda reviews. Did you see those?
Dude, me and Cannonball, we did a soda and a fucking hot sauce collab. Like we did a
Uh,
soda real review with a hot sauce review. My number one match I always wanted to have, because I only did one match with Cannonball. I did it was at the Monster Factory. I did a Monster Factory show with Cannonball, and it was a battle royal. But it was me and him were the first two entrants in like their three ring thing, and we got to work like 5 minutes together. It was the best experience of my life. I always wanted to do me versus Cannonball, 10 minutes open of the card, and we would do a hot sauce versus soda battle in the middle of the ring. I always wanted to do that. I had this picture.
I
I
feel
sold
like
it to Sean Henderson so fucking hard. I wanted
I
Sean
feel like
Henderson to put it on, but it never happened.
he bumped me once. I feel like he bumped me once in a match, but I don't remember what it was. Like he like picked me up and like did a like a Michinoku driver
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
I don't remember, but I know that we had some interaction. But like I know him. Like we've interacted many times. But
Kids.
I'm saying as far as like in ring physical stuff, that's all I can ever remember.
I told Sean Henderson about this. And do you know Sean Henderson, by the way?
I had a match with him at H2O.
Okay, because I was gonna say I didn't know like how much you knew him or anything. He's another one of the nicest fucking people in
He's
the
so
world.
nice. Yeah.
Love Sean Henderson. But I remember talking to Sean Henderson about this, and I was like, I bet if you gave me and Cannonball just 10 minutes, we wouldn't even have to bump each other. It would be like Dusty Rhodes versus Hakeem the African Dream up at Madison Square Garden, where there was only one bump the entire match, but people would eat that shit up. Like
Mhm.
that's my fucking dream match I've always wanted to have, man. And I love Cannonball. I love Sean Henderson, but good
Mhm.
people, man. They're just such good people.
I haven't talked to so the H2O. I only did two shows for them, and it was
Mhm.
right as COVID
Mm.
was happening. I don't know if it was like I don't remember if it was mid lockdown. I don't remember. I think it was like I said as COVID was happening. I said as this thing ends, either I'm buying a new pair of wrestling boots or I'm hanging up the pair that I've got, and I'm never doing this again. Uh,
Yeah.
and and then and then I ran into Tremont, and he asked me to come do the it was like the Monday or the Wednesdays. It was the undiscovered
Mhm.
shows,
That was, dude. They were fun. They were fun shows.
and what was weird is um like I, it made me feel like I don't know, like he gave me two dates. I forget when he gave them to me. I forget what it was. He gave me two dates. The first the first date he gave me, I showed up and he had my name already on the board, like me against Henderson, uh, and that was good. We had a good time. We had a good match. And then the next week, when which was the second date he gave me, I showed up and he forgotten that he had given me that date, and
Mm.
uh, I did not like that. I did not like that one bit.
Oh, I
And
mean, understandably.
then and then he wasn't even booking it. Preacher was, and
Mm.
Preacher hadn't been there the previous week, so Preacher had no idea that I was going to be there.
Right.
So Preacher had me wait around
Mm.
until he wrote the rest of the show,
Hmm.
and then oh, what was his name? Uh, what Xavier Cross.
Okay.
Then he put me and Xavier Cross in a match together, and either time I was there, it was me volunteering my time, and I did not
I know what
want
you mean.
to keep
I know
putting
what you mean.
myself through that. Like keep getting forgotten about and volunteering my time and it not being valued. Um, I,
That hurts, man, especially when you've been around as long as you have.
dude, these guys grew up watching me.
Exactly. That's what
Uh,
I'm saying.
right.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
No, that would put a bad taste in my mouth too, man. Like I would very much feel some type of way, you know.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it is what it is. But there was definitely some very cool people there. I'll say that
Right.
much. You know,
Yeah.
like those two we just talked about. Another one, you know who I fucking love? Casey Catal, Casey Kirk. I love the Kirks. They're two of the fucking nicest people, but especially Casey. She's awesome.
I don't know these people.
You do not know the Kirks. They're good people. Love the Kirks. Oh shit. But yeah, man. Like, but the point I was making, go to the Cannonball thing if you guys can, because if anybody in the world fucking deserves your support and love and shit through this, like he's just such a good guy. I talked to him the other night after I'd heard him about everything. I hit him up, and he's a good dude, man.
I would like to call him this week. Uh, are you good at any impressions?
The last time I was here, I did Dusty Rhodes, but I know that I can't do one right now because if I did a Dusty Rhodes right now, my wife would come in and kill me. She's already come in and yelled at me twice for being too loud. She'd leave for work in an hour. So I'm trying to think of what's a quiet impression I can do.
Do ASMR Dusty Rose.
Just put your hands, put it up a screen. You feel my hand touching your hand. That's our times, Daddy.
It's a little Leon Phelps. Like, hey there, sweet thing. How about you a fish sandwich? It's a lady.
Dude, Dusty will always be my number one go to. Anytime you tell me. Dude, I used to cut the Hard Times promo for the fuck of it in ACPW school when I was 15. Like, I studied Dusty more than anybody in the fucking world, man. And I still somehow became a heel.
Mm. I would love to continue talking about pro wrestling with you all day. Uh,
Yes.
it's currently
It's
at this
late.
very time, 4 o'clock in the morning,
We've done
and
2 hours. We're gonna do one. We're gonna do 2 hours, 17 minutes. It's 4 a.m. Let's go. Where's the pen?
I hope you have a great night. And now, in your ASMR Dusty Roads, can you say the way we wrap up the show? We say, be fun, have safe, keep evolving.
All right, Daddy. I need you to listen to to listen to Dusty right now. I want you to be fun, have safe, keep evolving, Daddy. Because that's hard times. Blue eyed soul coming right for you, baby.
Oh, bro, I want to tell you the thing that the guy said to me on his last day because I told you because he said keep your eye on the prize. The prize is you. Keep looking in the mirror, and then he said may you have your neighbors respect your angels protect. Or he said, may your neighbors respect you, the angels protect you, and heaven accept you. And I was thinking about that in ASMR Dusty Rhodes. May your neighbors respect you.
Did he end it with like a suck my dick and walk out at least, or did he just end it like that?
May your neighbors respect you. Angels protect you, and heaven accept you, baby.
That's hard times.
Everybody, if this is your first time ever checking out Evolving, uh, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you get notified when new episodes are coming out. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you comment with us. Just so, just to prove to me that you exist. Tell the algorithm to suck my dick. And then also, uh, maybe put that in the comments too. And
Maybe.
if you're coming across this, and I'm going to say this every episode, if you're coming across this video while you're on the toilet taking a dump, comment in the comment section, flush. This way, I'll know you exist.
Otherwise, you're just a bot. It's the dead internet. They're not going to say
The
flush.
dead
They're going to
internet.
say peace.
Dude, this is what I was saying the other day about the Bigo thing when I was saying, if you're not a bot, prove to me you exist. Say something right now. Comment right now, and never got a comment.
Ego,
So that
ego, baby. Ego, ego.
mhm. Bigo egos.
Love you, buddy. I'll catch you later.
Love you. Be fun, have safe, keep evolving.
Yes.
Bye.